Okay, this one's called the 4Ds. The 4Ds, and it's just a mnemonic device to remember four different things that can be done with anything that comes across your proverbial or metaphorical desk, or even literal desk. So those 4Ds are very simply don't, delay, delegate, do. Don't, delay, delegate, do. And so, what that means very simply is that if something comes across your desk, maybe you just don't even do it. You throw it away, you file 9 that sucker. It's not worth your time. It's not important. It's not urgent. It's not something that'll move the ball forward. It's not something that gives you enjoyment or in any way invests in the future of yourself or the organization or the people you love and care about. It's something that's ancillary. This could be something as simple as a telemarketer phone call. There's no need to return that phone call. Don't do it. Sometimes these are ideas that people come to you with and they say, hey, I got this great idea. This other church or organization or whatever, they did this thing and I think we should do it too. And so maybe it's a don't. The second one is delay. Sometimes things just need to soak a little bit. It's not something to rush into. It requires extra time, prayer, consideration, or maybe now is not the time to pull the trigger on that thing. It could be something that's completely valid, completely legitimate. It's going to be a great idea of something to do maybe in the future, but it's something to delay. Now, you don't want to lose that idea, right? That's something that I think is very important is if it's not something to do right away, but it's something that you believe has merit down the road, then you need to idea farm that thing and just see a previous video about what to do with idea farm. But if it's a delay, don't lose it, don't disregard it, don't forget about it. Just don't do it right now. It's not pressing and it's not important. It's something to delay. Now, the third thing is to delegate. Quite often, there's things that are good ideas. They could be done. They maybe even should be done, but they don't necessarily need to be done by you. If you're in a decision making position, that means to some degree there's a lot of things that happen that don't require your direct involvement. And so to delegate that thing is the right thing to do with it. Now, if it's a bad idea, don't delegate it to somebody you don't like. If it's a bad idea, file 9 that sucker, get rid of it, trash it. But if it's a good idea and it should be done or started moving on at least now, then delegate that thing to somebody that you believe in, somebody you believe that it'll be capable, and somebody that it will stretch slightly to get that done. But here's the thing, you delegate, don't abdicate. What I mean by that very simply is that delegation requires that you invest not just responsibility for something in an individual or a group, but that you also assign the authority necessary to get it done. So you make sure that you have trained them, you make sure that you equip them, you make sure that you have been very clear and specific what the guidelines are for accomplishment, both in budgetary calendar, but also in fiscal boundaries. What kind of budget are they working with? Is this something that's going to require budget? And then you got to give them the authority to make those decisions. So if you've delegated it to them, also then know and communicate to them when you're going to check back in with them on it. Make sure there's a deadline, there's a due date, there's going to be follow up so that you make sure there's follow through. Delegate, don't abdicate. So that's don't, delay, delegate, and then do. There's some things that you have to do. You cannot delegate a haircut. You yourself will have to go and sit down and spend your time and money, but you'll have to spend your time getting a haircut. You cannot delegate that to somebody else. Not just are there things that are logically, physically necessary for your specific person to be in a place and time, but there's also some things that are germane to your position, to your job, to what you're supposed to be doing. And some of that is deciding what you're going to do with those things that come across your desk. You cannot delegate that. Don't delay, delegate, do. If you're going to be in charge of deciding what you do, then that itself is something that you need to not delay on, but you need to actually do. you've got to do those things. So if it's germane to your job, if it's something only you can do, and you've determined that it's something that needs to be done and it's something that needs to be focused on, then you've got to do that. So those are the 4 things you do with something that comes across your desk. You don't do it, you delay doing it, you delegate doing it, or you actually do it. The 4 Ds.